Something that I found interesting in A Midsummer Night's Dream was the difficulty of the relationships. It seemed like these characters were always on a run for the person that they loved, and then whenever they got them, it was either like too good to be true or they didn't find any interest in it. And then by the time they got them. So I just thought this was interesting that none of the relationships ended up working half the story. You see a lot of gender roles play a big part in this, as the two couples are always getting together or breaking up. It was always the male that was dominant in making the moves. So it was like if the male liked the girl back, or it was never if the girl liked the man back. So it just shows you how the males had a more prominent role. Something that I didn't really understand was why the skit for the wedding was this big thing. I just didn't really understand why it was like everybody put a lot of tension around it towards the end and why it was supposed to be a joke and then it that was the ending of the wedding. It was just very confusing to me. Gender roles were very prominent in this. You see in the relationships, it was always about if the male liked the female back. It was never the female leading the guy on. It always seemed like at the end of it, it came to the guy if the relationship was going to work. So you see this dominance and this prevalence of the male over the females when it comes to the relationships. I think if you were watching the original play where the males played the females' roles, I think it'd be a lot more confusing to follow on, as if it not already was confusing to keep up with all the relationships and the dynamics. So I think by having an all male cast, it would have even made this even more confusing. Two questions that I would have would be, does everybody end up getting married at the end of this play? I had a hard time following along with the everybody's relationships, so does everybody end up with a partner? And another question I have is, do the partners, the two couples, do they still have the magic juice from the fairies in them or not?